The middle class has a tough time rising to the next level in recent years. With inflation rising, a lot of people are stuck and feel like they have a tough time moving to the next ladder in terms of financial security. The problem with a lot of middle class thinking is that it is often conventional and people fail to observe what rich people are doing. If you want to become rich, you have to focus on what the wealthy people are doing. Quick pause. It would mean the world to me if you click the like button, subscribe, and share this video with at least one person you know if you like it. My own personal experience, as example, I used to have a lot of conventional middle class thinking. For instance, I believed that the ticket to riches was to do the conventional thing, go to university and then law school afterwards. I felt that if I just completed these degrees, got the license, the money would instantly come my way. How many of you actually felt that if you just completed XYZ, the money would start flowing automatically? Well, the real world tends to be more complicated. If you think about it, does the world really owe you just because you did XYZ? So I'm with many of you when I say sometimes the approach that makes the most sense does not seem to pan out or bring the great financial rewards that we all thought would happen. College or law school will not provide people with real life experiences that generate real wealth, such as risk taking, how to find real assets to purchase to move out of the middle class and into the upper class and to actually achieve great dreams. Instead, they just focus on training you how to work. But work isn't really the way people become wealthy. People don't become wealthy under wages per se. Another sign of conventional thinking that I had in the past is I was afraid to approach the rich when I was working in a job where I was actually selling mutual funds and stocks. So I thought when I was selling mutual funds, I was approaching poor middle class people because at the time I thought that they were the group that would most benefit from these investments. And while that is true, they also had no money. So no matter how much they had invested in me, I would not have made commissions. So ultimately, I was out of business. The same is true for people who decide to sell real estate. It pays far more to focus on selling and buying homes for wealthy clients. These are going to be people who help really bring in substantial returns if you focus on that. If you just start focusing on middle class and poor and people in the lower rungs, they're gonna buy cheaper homes and there's less commissions. And while we are focused on jobs, the middle class thinks far too much about income instead of investments. There are people who become wealthy who never had a high income, while there are people who have a high income that have not much wealth because they tend to spend all of it. I know some people who say that they will focus on investing, quote unquote, when they have the perfect job and everything in their life is in order. Someone who has a wealthy perspective actually thinks just the opposite. They start investing when they have a minimum wage job in high school or college because they know that they have more time than anything else in the world. The rich do not necessarily spend a lot of time thinking about the perfect job instead of an investment that will change their life far into the future. Now, sadly, some things drain the wallet and really trap middle class people. Cars, the latest iPhone, and Starbucks. So let's focus on this. Cars serve a great function to get us from point A to point B. At some point in time, many middle class people start thinking that cars are actually a great place to put their money, even though everyone knows it's the world's worst investment. And even worse, some middle class people pay for their car on payments, which means that they are paying interest, even though their poor old car is losing value every day. I notice sometimes when I drive around that I see BMWs and Porsches in relatively okay apartment complexes, but I'll see Toyotas and Hyundais in wealthy neighborhoods. This has a lot to do with values. Of course, a lot of wealthy people have expensive cars too, but they prioritize in order to pay for those cars. A middle class value is to put money into something that will go down in value, and cars are the perfect representation of that. Time to really focus on cars as a utility and focus on building up one's assets. Now, Starbucks coffee. I know a lot of you are really big Starbucks fans. I have been as well in the past. I actually used to go to Starbucks every day with my brother. Recently, though, inflation in California is so high that I realize going to Starbucks just will set me back financially and does the opposite of helping me to achieve my financial goals. This is a matter of prioritizing the future me instead of focusing on just consumption for the moment. If you can make coffee at home, you are saving money, which can go into assets that rise up in value. I just had some coffee earlier. This may seem really simple, but it actually does work. This is part of changing one's values and doing something that actually works, because wealthy people actually do consume less in order to focus on putting more of their money into their investments. The wealthy actually spend a very small percentage of their income on consuming items instead of just investing, which is a smart thing to do. And lastly, I will also point out that the average person spends about 2 hours each day on social media. Do you think wealthy people get that way by going to exotic vacations, taking lots of photos of themselves, and then posting it on social media? A lot of the people who look like they are rich on Instagram aren't, and are actually just a lot of debt and trying to make it. They're just pretenders. There's nothing wrong with going on vacation or looking at social media, but it's unlikely to get you where you need to be. Focus on wealth producing assets and unique opportunities that take advantage of your unique talents. Stop consuming and instead focus on things that people actually want. Your unique services or your unique ability to accumulate as many wealth producing assets as you can. I hope that this short video has been helpful and gives you some insights in terms of how to get out of this middle class trap. I look forward to hearing your comments below. You can let me know if I'm right, wrong, or if you have some ideas for the comments. See you in the next video.